Agata was born in Poland. And she recently graduated at the Design Academy in Eindhoven. Tonight she will show us a whole new concept of growing our food. Yeah? You ready? And give her a most warm applause for Agata Jaworska.
Thank you. So like Bart mentioned, I'm just a recent graduate from the master program at Design Academy Eindhoven, and this is my thesis project, Made in Transit, a supply chain concept for on-the-way growth. So I started with supply chain because every product needs a chain in order to get from the production, from the factory to the consumer. And more our chains are involving more and more players, so each chain has from raw material, transport, production, packaging, and more players are getting involved, so this means there's more opportunity to do something different with transport. So here we have a typical chain from raw material, transport, production, packaging, transport again, warehousing, transport, retailing to the consumer. And all the light areas is what we want, raw material processed in some sort of way into a package, and all the dark things are the other steps that we need to make that happen, but they don't actually do anything. So they're enablers, but not the end in and of themselves. So I wondered if we can take parts of the chain and reformulate what they actually do. So maybe the package and the vehicle together could be maybe a new mode of production. Maybe a ship can become a factory, or a container or a package a form of a machine. Maybe along the way we could do steps of a process like turn grapes into wine, or dough into bread, or knit a sweater from yarn. Maybe we can use that time and that space that's captured by transport and turn this into normally what you would do in a factory, and replace maybe land-based factories, or start to eliminate other parts of the chain. Then I went into food, because if we make it on the way, upon arrival it is automatically fresh. And currently the whole industry is based on preservation. That's the paradigm. After they harvest the food, then they transport to the consumer. So I wanted to shift the paradigm from preservation to enabling growth. Packaging is a form of preservation, so is the cold chain that you saw, and same with ethylene as a gas we use to manipulate the process. This is a shift from best before to ready by. Normally we grow, we harvest, the blue one over there, and then we preserve all the way to the consumer. And what I wanted to shift is from best before to ready by. So we start with packaging, we grow, we distribute at the same time, automatically bringing the consumer and the harvest together. So that it redefines the roles. The consumer, in a way, becomes a sort of a farmer, but so does the truck driver. The package becomes individualized growth condition. The vehicle becomes a high-density growth facility, and our distribution space becomes growing space, so a form of real estate, agricultural real estate. So then I got a little bit more specific. I went to mushrooms, and currently when we ask where do mushrooms come from, when I used to pick them myself with my grandpa in Poland, they would come from the forest, and that's local because you go get them yourself, natural because you don't manipulate the conditions for growth at all. But here's a contemporary example of where mushrooms come from in Erp in the Netherlands. So this is a really good farmer, organic, amazing oyster mushrooms. But yeah, so this is how they're grown in a growing room. And this is a bulk format of growing mushrooms, and it's excellent. The result is excellent. But the question of is what because people with my concept, made in transit, mushrooms are grown on the way, are they natural? They ask these kinds of questions. But if you look at it now, we manipulate light, temperature, carbon dioxide, humidity levels, so the environment's not natural. The spores are engineered, let's say in Wageningen, because they're sporeless oyster varieties, so they're not natural. The substrate is not local, imported from Germany and France, and I forget the fourth one. And here we have the visualization of the concept. So this is the substrate from the bulk is now individualized in the center, and on either side you have a cluster of oyster mushrooms growing on the way in the package. Here are some benefits of making the switch. Less land use, because you overlap transport and growth. Slower transport, so rather than air, you go by sea, which saves lots. No post-harvest, unlimited reach, including space. No harvest labor, which happens to be 40% of production cost for mushrooms. Absolute freshness, so no canned. And more variety, more biodiversity for mushrooms. So now the answer to our question is that mushrooms come from trucks. Thank you.